Bookworms! Today I'm going to be doing a video about the 10 books that are currently on my shelves that I really want to make a priority to read in 2017. I did one of these last year, except I did 16 books that I want to read in 2016, and I thought that if I just continued that trend and did 17 books, then next year would be 18 and it would just be getting ridiculous. So I decided to stop that and go down to 10 books that I have on my shelves that I really want to read. The one that I did last year, I will leave that video linked down below in case you're interested in watching that, but just to give a little wrap up on that, I actually did pretty well. So of those 16 books that I wanted to read, I read 10 of them, and the other 6 were ones that I kind of lost interest in and didn't necessarily, I still don't necessarily feel the need to read them very soon. So I was very pleased with how I did because I read way more than half of them that I had on that list. So I wanted to do it again. I thought it was a fun video, so here we go. So the first book on my list is This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. This book follows a girl named Kate and a boy named August. Kate is a human who has a very ruthless father and she wants to be more like him. Meanwhile, August is an actual monster and he's able to steal people's souls through song, which sounds crazy. So he's kind of like his father's secret weapon, but he doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to be a monster. And the two of them meet, their paths kind of intertwine. I love that there's no romance in it. It's really about these two people seeing both sides to this story that is occurring and trying to figure out if they can do anything to change it. The last question in the synopsis is, how do you decide to be a hero or a villain when it's hard to tell which is which? So it sounds really interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to this one, and I am also really excited that the second one's coming out, so I'll be able to read the complete series in this year. Next on my list is A Gathering of Shadows, also by Victoria Schwab, or V.E. Schwab. And this one is the second book in the Darker Shade of Magic series. I had been waiting to read this one because I wanted to read it closer to when A Conjuring of Light, the third and final book, came out. So I feel like now is a good time to do that. I've heard amazing things about it. People have been saying that it's way better than the first book. So I'm really, really excited. And I really loved this world the first time that I was in it. So I'm really looking forward to diving back in. Next on my list, I want to read Nevernight by J. Kristoff. This book I started to read in 2016. I got about 70 pages into it, but I was having trouble focusing on it on the train because there were just so many loud people around, and with all of the annotations, this really requires full attention. So I just didn't have the time to fully devote the attention that I needed to it, so I put it down, but I really do want to get back into it and I really do want to read the rest of it. I've heard from a lot of people that the beginning is very rough to get through, but once you surpass that beginning point, then you'll become really to in the story and you'll really, really love it. So I do believe that that's probably what's going to happen to me as well. I want to read it again, and I think I might ignore the footnotes this time and possibly go back and read them later on, because I just felt like they kept taking me out of the story, but I really, really do want to read this. Next on my list is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I really wanted to read this one last year, but I didn't get to it. One of my goals for this year is to read more adult sci-fi and fantasy and just contemporary in general. So this is definitely high on my list. It is a National Book Award finalist, and it follows a traveling troupe of performers during an apocalypse. So it sounds really interesting. I've heard really good things about it from people who have read it. My friend Cassie loved it. Definitely trust her opinion. So I'm really looking forward to getting to this one. And the cover is just really pretty. So I'm just really looking forward to this one. Next on my list is Girl Against the Universe by Paula Stokes. This is one that came out in 2016 that I really wanted to read, but I didn't get to. It follows a girl named McGuire, and she is somebody that struggles with anxiety, which is something that I am familiar with. So that is why I'm really looking forward to reading this one, because I feel like it will be relatable. But this girl, McGuire, she thinks that she's bad luck. She thinks that the safest place for her to be is at home because she's afraid that if she's out, just her presence is going to cause bad things to happen. And then she meets this boy who's into tennis, and I believe things start to change for her because he's a very confident person, and the two of them form some type of relationship, and it just sounds like it's gonna be really good. Then I also want to read Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. I am finally all caught up with all of the books that I needed to read in order to get to this one. So I just missed getting to it by the end of the year because I had to fit in Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy, but now I am completely prepared and I cannot wait to dive into this new series because the more time that I have spent in the Shadowhunter world, the more that I have fallen in love with it and the characters, and I just love certain elements about this book that I already know from reading the other ones. So I'm really looking forward to diving into this one. It's definitely like one of the longer ones, but I like that I've heard from other people that it's not a book where Cassandra Clare like reestablishes the world again. She really just dives in because you already have all of this history in the Shadowhunter world, so you don't need like a briefing. So it sounds really good to me, and I feel like I have a pretty good idea of where the story is going to go, like the main sense of conflict, but I'm just really looking forward to it, and I'm really happy that I have this edition because I wanted it so badly. Next on my list is The Magician's Land by Lev Grossman. This is the third and final book in the Magician's series. Oh, come to think of it now, the first season of The Magicians is on Netflix, and I just, like, that reminder just struck me because I picked this book up. But I've been enjoying the TV series. The first book I didn't love. The second book was a whole lot better, and then I've heard that the third is even better than the first two. So I really do want to read the conclusion to this series just so I can see, you know, how it ends, because I feel kind of invested in it since I already read the first two. And I'm very interested, and yeah, I'm hoping that this one will be good. Next on my list is The Star-Touched Queen by Roshani Chokshi. I wanted to read this one last year. It came out in 2016, and it is a fantasy novel, and it's a Hades and Persephone retelling, so it definitely appeals to my interests. But it sounds really good, and a lot of the people that I know that read it said that it was just so beautifully written, and I'm always looking for beautifully written fantasy novels, so this fits the bill, and I am really excited to read this because also Crown of Wishes, which is going to be the second book. I'm not sure if it is a companion novel or if it is like the second book in this duology, but that's coming out later in 2016, and I don't know, I just really love these covers, and I always love beautiful writing, so I'm definitely looking forward to reading this one. Next on my list is Three Dark Crowns by Kendara Blake. I have talked about this one a lot on my channel, but I have not yet gotten to read it. It was one of my most anticipated reads of 2016, but I failed at reading it. I think the reason that happened was because there were mixed reviews and I got a little bit nervous. Like, I didn't want to be disappointed, but since then, some people that I do trust very much have given it better reviews. So I'm really looking forward to getting into it, and I think the whole concept for it is just brilliant. I love that it is these three queens who were separated at birth, raised in different areas, and each have like a different kind of skill, are competing to become the next queen, but they have to kill off their sisters in order to be that queen. It just sounds like so cool to me. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one. And finally, the last book that I have on my list to show you today is Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. This is the first book in the Expanse series. This is a very, very long sci-fi series. I believe there's currently 5 books out, and the 6th book is either coming out later this year, or it's just that I got this in paperback and the 6th paperback is coming out later. There's actually a sci-fi television show that is based on it that I've heard like rave reviews of, and I've been looking to find like a really good sci-fi read because I just haven't had one in a while. So they've actually talked about the show a lot on this podcast that I love to listen to, and it got me just like really excited pretty much after the episode that they were talking about it. I just went to my computer and I was like, I need this, and ordered it. So I decided to order the first book. I held off on ordering any of the other ones until I complete this one, but I really think that I am going to enjoy this. So it takes place in a time where humans have already colonized Mars, and I'm not sure if they've colonized other planets as well, but I believe there are 2 main characters, and each of them are kind of searching for something else, and their stories probably interweave at some point. But it sounds like it's going to be really good. It's also blurbed by like great authors. Like on the front here we have George R.R. Martin. On the back here we have another one from George R.R. Martin. That's a different quote, so he must really like this. And then there's also just like from NPR Books, IO9, The Wall Street Journal. So really trusted sources, and I really just can't wait to get to this one. So those are 10 books that are currently on my shelves that I really want to read in 2017. Let me know anything that you've had on your shelf for a while that you really want to get to at some point during the year, whether it be toward the beginning or the end. Yeah, let me know if you've read any of the books that I talked about, and I'll see you guys soon in a new video. Bye!